I just want to know who, which artists, if any, did you have in mind for channeling in these roles? Because I kind of had my own ideas as I was watching, and it kind of changed a little bit. So I'm just curious about that. And just to throw it out there, I was thinking one of the ones that morphed was Elam from Gangstar Guru. And then I also saw a little bit of Bobby Shmurda and Iago for a little bit. So, but I'm curious to know what y'all are thinking.
My man said Gangstar. You throwing it back, boy, golly.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, what you got, Mark? What were you channeling?
I think that for me, during it was a little bit different, obviously, for my characters, but for Cassio, because he was just this sort of like real, just wanting to be one of the crew, you know, and just wanting to be like one of the guys, you know, and just wanting to say, you know, whatever he could to get in good with it. I just thought about like movies like House Party, you know, that's I'm secret here. I'm a little bit older than the rest of the guys, so some of the references that I put might not be understood by some of them. Derrick, you might know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, don't even worry about it.
So, you know.
Don't even trip. Yeah, I already dated myself, so y'all are not that far back.
Okay. But I just thought about these dudes who just, you know, in movies like that, who just always were trying really hard to be, you know, and just really excited and just real eager. So that's kind of what I was going for that. And then for Emilia, because she was so extra, you know, because she was so flamboyant in her own way, that the way that her character was portrayed by the writers, that I kind of wanted to go a little like big with her, and you know, and just kind of be extreme. So, but I hadn't really played a lot of female characters before. So what I was trying to do was, I was like, okay, I don't want to try to be like a female character. I was like, what about men who were like female characters? So I just, it's not, probably not the best thing, but I kept thinking about Damon Wayans and David Alan Grier from In Living Color, when they were doing like Men on Film and all those kind of little sketches and stuff. So I was just kind of try to channel a little bit, like just to be the funny part of it, and just kind of embrace them and just be sort of free and kind of free flowing. But it was really easy, especially during Man's World. It was really easy to play up some of those things because everybody else was on that level too. We were just trying to kick it up to the nth degree. So those are probably the places I was going. No one really specific, but just kind of looking in those places for inspiration.
Yeah, I think, you know, I definitely drew a lot of inspiration. I had a playlist that I would listen to and kick off about an hour before each performance, and it had a lot of Nipsey Hussle on it, and who I think is awesome, and just for like the energy aspect of it, and the way, this is really technical, but it's the way he raps on a beat, and it's not necessarily like he has like his own super duper style. And in some of the tracks, you can really like play with the idea of where you start and end your words, you know what I mean? That doesn't necessarily, the beat isn't what rules you, your words rule the beat instead, you know, Which is also something that like early M, I think, did quite a bit. So, you know, I had a few like Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers LP jams, and then just like generally as like the overall theme, probably Nas, you know, and he has a song specifically called Hate Me Now, that I consider very Shakespearean. And when I do this lecture series called Shakespeare Was a Rapper, and I use actually a verse from Hate Me Now as an Iago monologue, and I pigeonhole it in between like Shakespearean lines because I think it fits perfectly. But it's just like, basically I just picked a bunch of really angry rappers like that have like almost unnecessary anger within certain songs, you know, and it's just like, why are you so angry, you know? And that's what I wanted to kind of be the inspiration behind Iago. It was a really like weirdly specific curation that I made, but it really helped me out.
Oh, it was brilliant. I think all four of you were brilliant. I wish I had thought of this before the other two, you know, while they were still here, but I appreciate that, man. Thanks.
Word. I know Horton was listening to a bunch of Kanye, like the Ye album just dropped, and like he was all on that, which I thought was a little suspect because that album was trash in my opinion, but hey, it worked for Josh. So, and he killed his role, but that's just me. So
I have to admit, Kanye didn't come up in the gallery that I was seeing, but I mean, if it works for him, it's good. Everybody killed it. I just thought And I thought that there was a lot of like you said, the words were ruling the beat. You know what I mean? And there was a lot of dialogue to kind of get through, and I felt that everybody was really there was a lot of thought and development going into, you know, the delivery of these lines, you know, dynamically as things went on. And so it just occurred to me that maybe you guys were, you know, dynamically channeling as well, and so to some degree.
Well, I will say that, yeah, we kind of were, because it was so crazy. Like, before every show, I mean, we all kind of had our own little routine about how we would get hyped up and how we would, you know, just try to really get into our characters. And we were, especially when we were doing it at the club, they had us sequestered off in this little side room that nobody else could really get into. We had these doors where it was almost soundproof in there, and it was big enough where we could all kind of be in our own corners. And we were working on lines, and I swear, it just felt like we were actually getting ready to go on stage for a rap show. Like, that's what we were doing. And this was our process. Like, every city that we go to on tour, you know, we just, every day was like a different city that we were on tour at, you know, and we were just getting into our zone. And it was the most, I mean, I haven't had a lot of experience, but it was by far the most, like, energetic, and like the pre-show, like the hype up and all the things that we would do. I mean, it was really, it sort of created this really strong bond that really carried us through each performance. I mean, the short rehearsal period and the time commitment that we had with each other, and just how we would prepare and get ready. I mean, it really elevated all of our performances, I felt like.
And here's the kicker, Derrick. I ended my whole playlist with Despacito by Luis Fonsi, because that was my palate cleanser. So I was like, okay, bet.
I got you. Yeah.
It cleared up. That's my Coca-Cola. That's my crouton before the wine. I don't know what you're supposed to do before when wine takes. Is it a crouton? What is it?
I don't know, man. I never heard a crouton before wine, or even after. So
you can see.
But it worked, man.
I guess I'm not one day I'll make it to the fancy places.